The world of Novus Terra had always been a symbol of hope for humanity. It was a young colony, only 30 years old, but already full of life. Tall, crystal blue forests covered the northern lands, and shining cities stood along the coastlines. 14 million people called it home. Families, students, scientists, and workers who believed their future would be peaceful. On the morning it fell, the sky was clear. Commander Leah Ariston stood inside Defense Tower 7, one of the last orbital tracking stations on the planet. She was only 32, but known across the colony for her calm thinking and sharp command skills. She was reviewing normal patrol reports when the alarms activated. At first, she didn't believe it. Then, the screens filled with red. Unidentified ships, many, entering orbit fast. No signals, no warnings. Leah felt her breath stop. "Open long-range scans," she ordered. Her officers worked quickly, their faces turning pale. "Commander, these signatures, they're Varkun," one whispered. Leah froze for a moment. The Varkun Dominion, a brutal reptilian empire from the far spiral arm, had never attacked a human world before. They kept their wars to their own border. They didn't cross into human space, so why now? The communication officer shouted, "Incoming transmission from orbital defense. They're engaging." Leah rushed to the central display. The orbital fleet, only 20 ships, looked tiny against the massive Varkun invasion force. Hundreds of enemy cruisers formed a dark wave around the planet, a wave that was already closing. "Put defense grid online," Leah ordered. But before they could, everything went wrong. Static burst across every console. Lights flickered. The tower shook as if struck by a giant hammer. A violent jamming signal hit the planet, knocking out communication networks and defense systems. The officer's voice cracked. "Commander, the defense grid is offline. The jamming is planet-wide." Leah felt cold. This wasn't an attack. It was extermination. Outside, the blue sky tore open. Fireballs streaked downward, enemy drop pods slamming into cities. Explosions lit the horizon. The invasion began. The orbital fleet tried to fight back. Leah watched from the tower as human ships fired railguns and missiles upward. But the Varkun outnumbered them 10-1. Human cruisers were destroyed one after another, blooming into bright clouds of metal and flame. When the last orbital ship died, the sky fell silent. Then came the bombardment. Leah gripped the table to stay steady. Her officers stared at the screens in horror as energy blasts struck the surface again and again. A whole district in the capital city vanished into fire. Emergency signals erupted everywhere, hospitals destroyed, evacuation centers hit, civilian convoys wiped out. This wasn't war. It was punishment. "For what?" Leah whispered. She didn't get an answer. Suddenly, the tower shook violently as an explosion hit somewhere close outside. Dust fell from the ceiling. Screens flickered. A young technician turned toward her. "Commander, we're losing power. The Varkun are targeting all defense towers." Leah swallowed hard. "Begin evacuation. Move all personnel to the lower tunnels." Her officers obeyed, running for the lifts. Leah stayed behind for a few seconds, watching the final battlefield reports. Every city was under attack. Civilians were dying everywhere. Ships trying to escape were hunted down. She activated the long-range emergency beacon, the one device the jamming couldn't block. She leaned close to the transmitter. "Novus Terra is lost," she said, her voice steady even though her chest felt tight. "Repeat. Novus Terra is lost. Do not forgive them." Then she turned and ran. She didn't make it far. The tower shook again, this time harder. Metal screamed as the structure began to collapse. Leah reached the stairway just as the floor shattered beneath her. She fell, hit something, felt pain explode across her body. Then darkness swallowed her. Leah didn't know how long she was unconscious. When she opened her eyes, everything was dim. Smoke choked the air. Broken concrete and metal covered the room. Her right arm was bleeding, and her head throbbed. But she was alive. Her first thought, why? Her second, is anyone else still alive? She forced herself up, ignoring the pain. The exit door was blocked by rubble. She crawled through a broken ventilation duct until she found open ground. The world outside looked nothing like the beautiful colony she knew. The once bright sky was now black with smoke. Fires raged across the horizon. The capital city, only 20 kilometers away, was a burning shape in the distance. Varkun ships moved across the sky like silent predators. Leah stood on shaky legs, breathing in the smell of burning metal. She wasn't dead. Novus Terra wasn't entirely dead either. Somewhere out there, people were still alive, and she would find them. Across the galaxy, humanity received her final message within minutes. On Earth, billions watched in stunned silence as the report played across every screen. Children cried. Parents held their families tightly. Soldiers clenched their fists. Novus Terra? Gone? 14 million people? The United Earth Council gathered in emergency session. They were the leaders of every human world, politicians, scientists, admirals. The room was silent until one man spoke. Admiral Cale Durant, commander of the Soul Battle Network, leaned forward, his face stone-hard. The Varkun Dominion attacked a civilian world without cause, he said. They killed families, students, doctors, innocents. Another council member whispered. Why? We've never had conflict with them. Durant replied coldly. It no longer matters why. What matters is our answer. Everyone fell silent again. For years, the galaxy believed humans were still newcomers, emotional, soft, inexperienced. Humans were seen as explorers, diplomats, traitors. A species that preferred peace. Today, that reputation ended. Durant pressed a button. A hologram of Earth's classified wartime plan appeared. Protocol Titanus. Many council members gasped. The plan had never been used. It was meant for a worst-case scenario. The destruction of a human world. Durant's voice was a calm storm. Novus Terra fell. We will not lose another, and the Varkun will learn that humanity is not weak. No one argued. Earth activated Protocol Titanus immediately. Across human space, shipyards lit up with new production lines. Automated factories woke from emergency stasis. AI-controlled forges started crafting weapons. Long-kept secret railguns, the size of skyscrapers, stealth destroyers, gravity torpedoes. Humanity had always preferred peace. But peace did not mean weakness. Every human leader knew that now. Some alien nations watched the news with dread. The peaceful Cathari diplomats even sent a private warning to the Varkun. You do not understand the species you attacked. The Varkun scoffed at their message. To them, humans were emotional creatures who would cry and beg. The Varkun believed humans would break. They were wrong. Back on Novus Terra, Leah stumbled through the ruined outskirts of the city. She found a collapsed school, where she discovered survivors, only 12 of them. Mostly children and 2 teachers. The children looked up at her with fear in their eyes. Is the army coming? One boy asked. Leah knelt down, her uniform covered in dust and blood. Yes, she said. And until they arrive, I will protect you. The teachers helped her move the group into an abandoned storm shelter. Over the next hours, more survivors found them, families, workers, injured people who had escaped the bombardment. Soon the shelter held over 100. Every time someone entered, Leah felt a fierce warmth in her chest. Life remained, hope remained, humanity remained. Night fell, and the survivors sat in silence, listening to distant explosions. Leah stood watch at the entrance, holding a salvaged rifle. She scanned the darkness, her heart cold but steady. She didn't know when help would come, but she knew help would come. Humanity would not ignore this outrage. Leah looked at the burning sky and whispered to herself, they will answer. They always do. Far above the ruined world, human fleets were already leaving Earth. War machines humanity had never shown the galaxy were finally moving. The Varkun thought their victory was certain, but every human across the stars now shared one thought. A silent promise burned into their hearts. Vengeance. The remnants of Novus Terra still smoldered when the first human strike fleet moved through the void. The HSS Nemesis, humanity's most advanced dreadnought, led the formation, cutting through the darkness with precision. Its massive hull reflected distant stars like silver armor. Behind it, Dozens of support ships followed, sleek and deadly. Each one carried weapons and technologies that the galaxy had never seen. On the bridge of the Nemesis, Admiral Cale Durant stood at the command console. His eyes were sharp, scanning the data streams as tactical AI systems processed the Varkun Dominion's known positions. "The first targets are the outer defense fleets," Durant said. His voice was calm but carried an iron weight. "We hit them fast, hard, and without mercy. They struck our colony. They left no choice." Lieutenant Sora Ven, his communications officer, nodded. "Orders received. Enemy signals detected ahead. Their formation matches intelligence reports. Heavy cruisers, missile frigates, and support drones. They are expecting a small counterattack." Durant's lips curved slightly. "Then they will be very disappointed." Back on Novus Terra, Leah Ariston had organized the survivors into a makeshift resistance. In the ruins of the city, they moved quietly, avoiding the patrolling Varkun squads. They had no heavy weapons, no ships, no hope of defeating the Dominion in open combat. But Leah had something the Varkun could not destroy: human ingenuity and spirit. She taught the survivors to set traps, sabotage patrols, and communicate silently across the ruins. Simple devices, pressure-triggered explosives, hacked energy relays, even basic drones salvaged from destroyed human factories became tools of war. Her small broadcasts reached other scattered survivors. "We are not defeated. We breathe. We fight. Novus Terra lives." Her voice carried across comms like fire through dry grass. Wherever it reached, it sparked courage. The galaxy began to take notice. Rumors spread. Humans had survived the annihilation of their world. Humans were not broken. Humans were coming back. In orbit, the Varkun Dominion was confident. The High Council of Kal Rith had convened as the news of resistance, and the Nemesis fleet arrived. "The humans are foolish," the Varkun Admiral Thak'Ril hissed. His scales shone dark green under the council chamber's lights. "They have lost everything. They are a dying species. They should surrender." The Varkun Emperor, cold and calculating, leaned back in his throne. "And if they refuse?" he asked. "Then we will crush them," Thak'Ril said. "As we crushed Novus Terra." He didn't understand what he had unleashed. The first strike began. The Nemesis advanced silently into the edge of Varkun space. Its engines were quiet, its weapons primed. The first Varkun armada, over 300 vessels, waited near the mining colonies of Dral Kor. They had detected the fleet too late. "Target their command ships first," Durant ordered. "Destroy leadership, then sweep the flanks. No mercy." The Nemesis fired first. A single, concentrated beam of plasma ripped through the Varkun flagship. It exploded, tearing apart smaller ships nearby. Shockwaves spread across the armada. The Varkun scrambled, but humanity was faster, smarter, and deadly precise. Automated drone wings emerged from stealth, hacking Varkun communications. Railguns fired from ships at impossible velocities, shredding cruisers before the Varkun could respond. It was a massacre. Durant watched as his strategy unfolded perfectly. "They underestimated us," he muttered. Meanwhile, Leah's resistance achieved a victory on the ground. They ambushed a Varkun supply convoy, using explosives and improvised weapons to destroy dozens of vehicles. Survivors scavenged Varkun energy packs and comm devices. A young survivor, barely 16, turned to Leah, eyes wide. We did it! We won!" Leah knelt beside him, shaking her head. "We won a battle, not the war. But every battle we win makes them fear us. Every life we save makes their empire crack." The survivors cheered quietly. For the first time since the attack, hope felt tangible. Back in the Varkun Empire, panic began to spread. Reports arrived that human strikes were appearing in sectors they thought safe: intelligence hubs, industrial stations, even their forward colonies were under attack. Cyber warfare units deployed by humanity disabled communication networks, leaving fleets blind and uncoordinated. High Council members shouted, scales clattering in fury. "They are everywhere. How can this be? Tuckriel roared. We destroyed their colony. We killed their families. How do they still fight? The Emperor's eyes narrowed. They are not like other species, he said softly. Do not forget that. Do not forget that. And for the first time, doubt crept into the Dominion's heart. Leah and her group moved cautiously through the ruins of Novus Terra's capital. They scavenged weapons and supplies from destroyed Varkun craft. Each patrol they avoided, each enemy they surprised, reminded them they still had a purpose. Leah paused one evening, looking at the smoke rising from the horizon. We survived, she whispered. But survival is not enough. We need allies. We need support. Somewhere in orbit, human satellites received her signal. Earth's fleet had already begun coordinating with ground resistance across multiple lost worlds. Leah's small force would not fight alone. Soon, humans across the galaxy would join. On the Nemesis, Durant's fleet moved deeper into the Varkun space. They struck 12 strategic sectors simultaneously, a bold maneuver humanity had prepared in secret. Manufacturing hubs, resource stations, shipyards, everything the Dominion relied on was vulnerable. By the time the Varkun realized what was happening, it was too late. Entire sectors went dark as human fleets tore through defenses. Automated strike drones infiltrated stations, sabotaging power cores and transport systems. Communications went down, isolating fleets from the central command. Durant watched it unfold on the tactical display. His face remained calm. Inside, he felt a fierce satisfaction. Humanity had waited too long for vengeance. Now, the galaxy would see it. Leah's voice echoed across comms one night. We are still here, she said. Novus Terra breathes. We are not afraid. The message reached human fleets, spread to other human colonies, and even leaked to some alien observers. It became a symbol. Humans could endure, adapt, and fight back, even when everything was taken from them. Across the stars, oppressed species whispered hope. If humans could survive, perhaps they too could rise against the Varkun yoke. In the High Council of Kal Rith, arguments erupted. Some Varkun urged retreat, while others demanded a counterstrike. Panic was spreading faster than the humans could strike. Their centuries-long confidence was crumbling. The Emperor's voice cut through the chaos. Contain them. Learn what has awakened in humanity. Do not underestimate it. We may have killed their world, but we have not killed their spirit. But even he felt it, a creeping fear that his empire had underestimated humans. That mistake would cost them dearly. By the end of the first major human strikes, the galaxy had changed. The Varkun fleets were fragmented. Resistance on Novus Terra continued to grow under Leah's leadership. Humanity had shown the first glimpse of the war machine they had hidden for generations. Every planet, every fleet, every survivor became part of a single message. We are not weak. We are human. And we will not forgive. Durant, standing on the bridge of the Nemesis, looked at the stars stretching before them. The Varkun believe they won, he said softly. They have no idea what comes next. And somewhere deep in the ruins of Novus Terra, Leah prepared her people for the battles to come. She knew the path ahead would be long and dangerous, but she also knew one truth. Humanity did not break under fire. They thrived in it. For every child who had lost a home, for every family destroyed, for every life taken, humanity would strike back. With fire, with precision, with vengeance. The galaxy had witnessed the fall of a human world. Now it would witness humanity rise like a storm, and when that storm came, no one would forget it. The stars above Novus Terra were calm now, but the surface told a different story. Fires still burned in the cities, smoke rising into the atmosphere, twisting like dark ribbons against the dawn. Human resistance fighters moved cautiously through the ruins, their eyes sharp for any sign of the Varkun patrols. At their center, Leah Ariston led the survivors with a resolve that refused to waver. The humans had no fleet above them yet. No guarantee that reinforcements would arrive on time. But Leah's spirit and the determination of every survivor was enough. Each step forward reclaimed a small piece of their world. "Move quietly," Leah instructed. "Every patrol we avoid is a life saved. Every sabotage we make weakens them for the fleet." Her group nodded. They had become a finely tuned unit of humans who would not be broken. Far above, the HSS Nemesis and its accompanying fleet waited for orbital clearance. The Varkun forces were scattered and disorganized, but remnants still lingered above Novus Terra, attempting to reclaim control. Admiral Cale Durant reviewed the tactical reports. "We strike with precision," he said. "We liberate the planet without unnecessary destruction. The Varkun occupation ends today." The first strike team launched. Orbital drones scouted the surface, disabling Varkun energy relays and targeting remaining anti-orbital weapon platforms. Railgun cannons on human battleships fired with unerring accuracy, smashing enemy fortifications. Below, Leah and her resistance fighters saw the sky light up. "They're here," one whispered. "They've come for us." "They're here," Leah smiled grimly. "No, they've come for justice." The resistance coordinated with the fleet. Survivors guided the orbital drones to Varkun positions, using their knowledge of the ruined cities and secret tunnels. In a single, coordinated strike, the Varkun occupation forces were overwhelmed. Many tried to flee, but human firepower, both orbital and ground-based, ensured none escaped. Leah moved through the battlefield, helping the wounded and directing operations. Her voice became a beacon. Calm, commanding, unyielding. Every survivor who saw her felt hope, strength, and the fury of a species that refused to bow. By midday, Novus Terra was free again. Fires still raged, but no Varkun remained in the cities. Human flags, symbols of survival and defiance, were raised across key locations. Leah walked through the streets of her home, once proud, now broken, now reclaimed. She paused at the central square, where the tallest buildings had crumbled. She looked to the sky and spoke into a transmitter. "We are here. We are alive." Novus Terra breathes once more. "Arthur." Her voice echoed across human systems, reaching the fleet, Earth, and even alien observers. The galaxy understood. Humanity had returned. But the war was far from over. The Varkun Emperor had retreated to his throne world, Kal Rith, a fortress planet with defenses that spanned continents. It was their seat of power, and they believed it untouchable. Durant's fleet moved in unison toward Kal Rith. Humans had studied its defenses, developed strategies, and prepared for months of engagement. But they did not hesitate. Humanity did not wait for the perfect moment, they created it. The first waves of attack struck the outer planetary shields. Railguns carved through defensive arrays. Orbital bombardments disabled surface turrets. The Varkun retaliated, but human tactics, intelligence, and adaptability gave them the upper hand. On the bridge of the Nemesis, Durant watched. "Every strike weakens them," he said. "Every move shows the galaxy what humanity truly is." Meanwhile, Leah and a small team infiltrated the throne world via stealth ships, landing on a lightly guarded sector. They moved quickly, disabling communication hubs and supply depots. They became the unseen hand guiding the orbital fleet. Every Varkun soldier who had underestimated humans learned their mistake in blood. Leah's group faced ambushes, traps, and relentless pursuit. But they adapted with ingenuity and courage. They moved like shadows, striking decisively and disappearing before counterattacks could respond. At one point, Leah paused to catch her breath in a ruined corridor. A young soldier beside her, barely 18, asked, "Commander, are we really going to kill the Emperor?" Leah turned, eyes sharp. "We are not here to kill out of hatred. We are here to end tyranny. To free the galaxy from the fear he has spread. That is our justice." The soldier nodded. "Then we'll see it done." The battle for Kal Rith was relentless. Orbital and ground forces moved together, guided by Leah's intelligence teams. Entire Varkun divisions collapsed under human precision. Resistance movements across the Empire rose up, joining the human strike and further destabilizing the Emperor's hold. Finally, the Nemesis approached the central citadel. Its massive railguns fired one final barrage, breaching the main defensive walls. The Emperor's elite guards tried to resist, but human soldiers and resistance fighters stormed the corridors. Leia led her team into the heart of the throne world. The Emperor, scaled and towering, awaited them in the central chamber. His eyes narrowed as he saw the humans enter. "You destroyed nothing," he hissed. "You are but remnants." Leia stepped forward. "We are survivors. We are vengeance. You destroyed a world, and now we destroy your empire not in hate, but in justice. You underestimated us." The battle was swift. The Emperor's guards fell, and his throne was taken. Humanity had reached the heart of the Varkun Dominion. With the Emperor defeated, the Empire collapsed. Varkun territories declared independence. Oppressed species reclaimed freedom. And resistance movements across the galaxy celebrated human leadership. Earth sent a single, galaxy-wide broadcast. Durant's voice, calm but firm, resonated across every system. "We did not seek war. We sought peace. But peace was stolen. To all who brought fire to human worlds, we are the storm that ends tyranny. Humanity does not forgive. Humanity does not forget. Humanity endures." Across countless worlds, citizens cheered. Humans, aliens, and freed colonies all witnessed a species rise from near annihilation to galactic supremacy, not for conquest, but for justice. Leia returned to Novus Terra with her team. The planet was scarred, cities reduced to rubble, forests burned and blackened. But it was home. And home meant life. The survivors worked tirelessly, rebuilding what had been lost. Human engineers and architects began restoring structures, creating farms, repairing power grids, and salvaging technology. Children laughed in the streets for the first time since the invasion, running through alleys once lined with debris. Leia walked among them, observing quietly. Every life saved, every home rebuilt, was a victory. Every step forward proved the galaxy wrong about humanity. A monument rose in the central square, a symbol of Novus Terra's destruction and rebirth. A single plaque read, "They tried to break us. They failed. We rise." Leia placed her hand on the plaque. "This is not just for us," she said softly. "It is for every human who believes in hope, every soul who fights for justice. Humanity does not bow. Humanity does not break. Humanity endures." The galaxy had learned the true meaning of human vengeance. Not cruelty, not hatred, but resilience, strategy, ingenuity, and the refusal to accept defeat. Every empire that had underestimated humans now knew the truth. Humanity could survive destruction, rebuild from ashes, and rise stronger than ever. And in every corner of the galaxy, the message echoed, "Strike a human world, and you awaken a force beyond reckoning." Humanity had lost Novus Terra, but in doing so, they had forged a legend, a species underestimated no longer. A people united in spirit, a galaxy forever changed. Leia Ariston looked up at the sky, stars reflecting in her eyes. "We survived," she whispered. "We rebuild. And no one will ever forget what humanity can do." The storm had come, the vengeance had been delivered, and humanity had risen.